Hello, hello, Christina Giordano here, and I am the founder of Sold, SOUL''D. And Sold is your go-to resource for soulful entrepreneurship. And my philosophy is this: people can no longer be sold to, they must be sold to. There's that word again. And this is essentially selling with soul. This is marketing with integrity, where you no longer need to compromise your authenticity, your boundaries, your uniqueness, your wholeness. This is messaging in a way that actually reflects the transformation you provide, because it's your story, your transformation, and nobody can compete with that. This is monetizing yourself in a way that honors your fullness and your multidimensionality, all of the pieces and parts of you that are meant to be divinely resourced. Join me every Wednesday to learn all of this and more. Let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about understanding the 3 Ps of perseverance: power, patience, and persistence. Now, there's something to be said about the entrepreneurial life. There is so much freedom, flexibility, and fulfillment that comes with it. But on the flip side, there's also kind of a busyness, and there's a toughness to it. There's a hardness to it. There's in some cases, a hustle mentality, and the pursuit that often comes for the ride. There's no magical way to become successful. And by the way, there's no universal definition of the successful life. Success as you define it isn't handed to you just because you've worked hard. Nobody is entitled to an easy path. It's a challenging and relentless journey to finding your purpose, bringing it to your life, and then making it grow. That's why every entrepreneur needs to be aware of and commit to what I call the 3 Ps of perseverance: power, patience, and persistence. So let's review each P. After we review these, you're going to have an opportunity to make your commitment to the 3 Ps. And these abilities already lie within you and will serve you on your journey. But as I go through them, I want you to consciously make an effort to really think about, all right, am I committed to this P? Am I committed to this P? And am I committed to this P? Can I persevere? Really think about that as we go. We'll begin with power. Power is the ability to do or to act. It's the ability to accomplish something, or the ability to act towards perseverance. This is an inherent quality and gift within each of us. We all have the power to make something happen, big or small. We all have the power to make change. We all have the power to have our own beliefs and values, and we all have the power to control our thoughts and words and actions. Now, the power within us is something we all need to remember as entrepreneurs. We may not always feel powerful or act powerfully, but we all have the capacity to be powerful. Remember that you have power. It is already within you. And yes, it can be easy to forget our power and to even give it away, but it's there. And maybe it needs to be rediscovered. Maybe it needs to be nurtured. Maybe it needs to just be acknowledged. Now, when I forget my power or give it away, my mindset becomes that of a victim. My boundaries become blurred, and I say yes, even when I know deep down I should be saying no. I quickly spiral into self doubt. I become irritable and resentful. I'm not myself. But when I remember my power, I make good choices for my life and my well being. I'm strong and authentic, and also incredibly resilient in the pursuit of my purpose. I think for myself and make decisions based on what feels good to me. It's liberating to be in your power, and it's in your power that you can truly serve others. When I am in my power, I take action towards perseverance. However, in order for us to stay in our power, even when we are triggered or hit a roadblock, we must first identify an easy and immediate way for us to return to our power, because life happens. Inevitably, we are going to forget our power. And when this happens, we need a support strategy to help us get back to who we are. And I personally do the following activities to remember my power. Number one is I change my physical state. This is particularly activating for me. This can be breath work, or it can be a series of motions you do with your hands or with your body. It's simply about altering the state that your physical body is in. Putting yourself in a series of movements that represent power to you can actually make you feel more powerful. So keep that in mind. Number two is I change my environment. Now, by changing our environment, we can change pretty much everything else. Usually this involves awakening the senses in some way. Sometimes I'll light a candle, or I'll play some soothing music, or I'll go on a walk outside. This will help me remember that I have the power to change my situation and therefore my thoughts and emotions too. So, do either of these activities resonate with you? I suggest you try them if they do, and then also look into some activities on your own. You can also make one up for yourself. Perhaps you have a specific process that works best for you. The goal is to build that process so that you can always remember your power, even in the moments when you think it's lost. All right, now let's talk about patience. Patience is defined as the ability to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. It's the ability to endure challenging circumstances on the path to perseverance. This is another inherent quality and gift within each of us. We all have the capacity to be patient by varying degrees, of course, but it's a practice that is worth improving. As entrepreneurs, we will come across setbacks and obstacles and challenges fairly often. Sometimes it will even feel as though we take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It can feel defeating, but when we are patient, we can move through these problems with grace. We can let them come along for the ride, except we can let, we can let the problems come along for the ride, except we don't necessarily need them to be in the driver's seat. And when we accept that they are there and will continuously appear on our journey and simply keep our eyes on the prize, that is how we persevere amidst challenges through a conscious effort of continuous patience. Now, patience in itself is a challenge. It's an obstacle we must face on our soul journey. However, once we recognize that we are equipped to endure, we can find the patience that is within us and honor it. One of the most common uses of patience is through discovering how we are meant to show up for our calling. We know that we have one, but we aren't fully conscious of it yet. We haven't figured it out yet. This is where patience is the most necessary ability and usually the one that we can employ. We must have the patience to let the pieces fall into place. We must have the patience to wait for the signs. We must have the patience to persist. Now, this is actually something that I struggled with the most. Out of the 3 P's of perseverance, patience was probably my biggest weakness. I didn't want to wait it out. I didn't want to delay actions. I wanted to take action so that I could start seeing results. And inevitably, when I rushed my journey in this way, I only ended up busy and feeling completely out of alignment. I worked on projects that I didn't find fulfilling. I worked with clients that were not ideal for me. And when I was rushing for results, the results weren't what I wanted and they weren't worth it to me. So when I let my journey and my work unfold in the way that it wanted to unfold, I began to experience a complete transformation in my identity and within my life. I accepted where I was in my journey and had the patience to wait for an indication that I should take action. This obviously also involves a lot of faith within my spiritual practice, but it's within that practice that I actually learned patience. So, how do we practice patience and how do we remember to be patient? Again, we must create a ritual or a process that we can utilize immediately in order for us to become patient. So, for me, it was my spiritual practice. As I became more spiritual, I became more patient. Here are a few exercises that work for me and that have worked for others as well. So, number 1, I meditate and call upon my spirit guides to give me strength and direction. I found a beautiful meditation online that facilitates the process of slowing down and connecting with your spirit guides. And by the way, you can also connect with your higher self or God or the universe, whatever you choose to believe in. I personally receive wonderful messages and so much relief when I tap into a higher consciousness this way. Doing this helps me receive the patience that I need to carry on. And it's because I let my body and my mind surrender. When I am in a particularly challenging moment and I feel all tense and nervous and anxious to the point where I can feel it in my body, I stop everything. I take 3 long and full deep breaths and visualize every part of my body relaxing, like even the insides, to the point where there is no tension anymore. It feels as though I'm becoming jello. And doing this type of relaxation helps me practice patience in myself, but also patience in the process and my journey. There's nothing actually wrong happening in the moment that I'm struggling. Nothing is actively happening to me. It's just life and it's just my thoughts running away with themselves. So doing this helps me come back to myself. Do either of these activities resonate with you? And if so, try them. They might help you experience patience in a new and exciting way. Patience doesn't need to be a challenge. It can be something we value and admire. So create processes that will help you cultivate patience in your life and work. Now, the last P is persistence. This is defined as the ability to continue despite everything and anything. It's unlike patient in that it requires action. It's unlike power in that it requires endurance. This is about having a resolve to never give up, no matter what. When you are on the journey to show up for your business, you are making a commitment to yourself to be relentlessly persistent in that pursuit, because this is the pursuit of your dreams. There's no going back. There's no hiring someone to do it for you. This is yours. It's your truth. It's your mission. It's your passion, your purpose. Commit now. Don't let the dream die. Pivot, get creative, get resourceful, but never stop trying. You are here for a reason. Remember that. Now, in my journey over the last 10 years that I've been in business, there were many times when I wanted to quit. There were countless times when I would say, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'll just get a regular 9 to 5 job. And I would rationalize this because I'd say things like, obviously, I'm not meant for this, or I've given it all and nothing is working. I would try so hard to convince myself that I should give up. There were some really dark times on my journey, which included lots of tears, lots of anger, and lots of heartbreak. But I persisted. I never gave up because a little voice inside of me kept whispering, keep going. And I did. I followed every inkling of a sign. I took every training and every course and followed every person that I resonated with, and I grew. Not only did I grow, I remembered myself. I remembered my light. And that's what you have to do. That's what I'm here to tell you. Remember your light, your lightness, your joy, your happiness, your essence. When we are thrown out of alignment or off course, it's it's imperative that we tap into our persistent energy within us. Sometimes it's as easy as breathing through the challenges. Other times we need a little more help. Here are a few tactics that have worked for me in keeping me persistent. So number one, I regularly review my tasks, chores, etc., and eliminate the ones that are unnecessary or that I could delegate. So this is a random example, but I no longer grocery shop. I either hire someone to do it or my husband does it for me. It was just something that I didn't need to put my energy in. And since my husband has a little more flexibility when he's at home, he now does our grocery shopping. So by removing the tasks that only gave me the comfort of being busy, I was able to be more purposeful with my time and value the time where I had nothing to do but rest. So giving myself the time and space to simply be is what keeps me persistent. I don't lose focus or get distracted. I tell myself that I have my back. Sometimes this is combined with an affirmation meditation. I'm sure you can find those online. However, I realized over time that any feeling of failure or of giving up came from a lack of trust in myself and my abilities. So think about that one. Whenever you have that sense of failure coming up, what's it really coming from? Where is the lack point or scarcity point in your body that you're feeling it? Sometimes tapping can help too in removing that block, or even kind of like focusing your breath in that area and breathing through it. But by knowing that I have my own back, which is something that I regularly affirm to myself, and that I'm all that I need, and that I love myself more than anything or anyone, and I have a renewed sense of purpose in my direction at that point. I remember who I am, and the need for me to stay strong, to stay the course. So if any of these activities resonate with you, try them out. The next time you think about quitting, guess what? You can't, because you are making a commitment to yourself that you are going to be relentlessly persistent in the pursuit of your dreams. Honor that and create a ceremony around this commitment. You can even write vows to yourself. I've heard of business owners doing that, and renew them often. Commit to living the life you were meant to live, and always, 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 always believe in yourself, no matter what. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson today. I certainly did, because I love talking about the little things of entrepreneurship that people just don't talk about. It's not just about the big things like the hero's journey and the messaging and things like that. It's about these little things that we just need to nail down and define for ourselves and commit to. And that's really what this lesson is all about today. So I hope you enjoyed the 3 P's of perseverance. All right, everyone. Until next week, be well and take care.